A new life in Europe. A dream chased by thousands.
I don't really think you can better it.
It's just amazing living in Spain.
With sunny days and a great way of life, it's easy to see why. But this doesn't come for free.
To come up with that money out of thin air is quite difficult.
So to fund this life,
Oh my God.
expats are setting sail
He's out. He's gone.
and setting up businesses.
There's mushrooms growing on the wall.
Okay.
On this series, we follow a fresh group of expats.
Every day's like this at the minute, it's just non-stop.
Yes!
Launching paragliding and restaurants in Spain.
I think there's a future in this for us.
B&Bs and villas in France.
Look at that, like a Ferrari toilet.
But will it be profitable
There was a lot of happy people here.
or simply painful?
I want a piece of Spain, not a piece of Chernobyl.
And can the new expats really make their new life in the sun pay?
Have I got the job?
Yeah, you got the job.
Today,
I forgot to go to the baker's this morning and pick up the bread.
can a three-course feast give this French guest house a new lease of life?
We've got the summer season, but we need the income throughout the whole season.
It's now 20 to 7. I don't think we're going to eat till about 8.
A VIP visit for a new fishing business?
He's going to come, write a review and give us his honest opinions.
But will they cut it?
What can possibly go wrong?
And novice winemakers get to enjoy the fruits of their labour.
We bought a dump, didn't we?
We did. I think we saw something that others didn't, and now we've cleared it, we've got the benefit of it.
The Costa Blanca, southeast Spain, a dream destination for sun worshippers. As most of Northern Europe freezes in winter, here you can pretty much guarantee warmth with more than 300 days of sunshine per year. For those who love the great outdoors, there couldn't be a more perfect place to live. One couple enjoying the delights of this al fresco way of life is Joe Reed and his wife Jolene.
Can you remember when we were in the UK? And overnight, we always used to struggle for things to do to keep ourselves occupied.
Yeah.
And all we'd do is sit inside and watch telly. Compared to what you can do here, every single night, you could just go for a walk and be happy.
It's sociable here. You can go out and socialise more.
Yeah.
The weather, obviously.
Yeah. That's what I love so much about Spain, being outside.
Joe runs a paragliding business here.
Run, 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 run.
And now he's approaching a critical time. Jolene is a professional singer, and it's August, the 1 month when her much-needed income drops.
It does go quiet because you get a lot of the Spanish tourism here as opposed to the English tourism because obviously the flights go up because all the children are off school.
Luckily, after a push on social media, Joe's getting more bookings.
I'm getting more and more people wanting to fly because I think the videos that I've been making, that I've been putting on Facebook, it's so beautiful here. I mean, you can see for yourself. It's an amazing place to fly.
But that means his customer service skills are now being put to the test. Today's first client is Kyle, a nervous teenager who's holidaying with his granddad, Dennis.
I know when I woke him up this morning, it was very tense. And it'd been a bit like that on the way down. But I think once he's in the air, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Because he's not finding the bites.
To make things trickier, customer 2 is French tourist Sebastian, who was given this trip as a birthday present. Trouble is, he doesn't speak a word of English.
We've been talking through email. I've been using Google Translate, and we've talked quite a lot because they originally asked for a French-speaking pilot, and I've got one, but he's away in Switzerland at the moment.
So giving instructions could be a little tricky.
It adds to the fun, you know, multinational is... Yeah, no, it's good. Pick up a little bit of French along the way. Bonsoir. Perfect, spin around.
Teenager Kyle is the first into his harness. But things don't get off to a smooth start.
Un momento, c'è problema con la camera.
Supplying his customers with video footage is all part of Joe's package.
He's going a little bit loco.
So he needs to get the camera working again and fast.
No, it's not working, I don't know.
Joe decides to switch to his spare camera.
That's good, that's good. Stay on your feet, get ready to start running. Un momento, muy rápido.
But now the backup has a fault.
I think it's the heat. I'm not going to lie to you, I think it's the heat.
But it's not the heat. It's the memory card that Kyle brought to go in the camera. Luckily, Joe's got a backup card too.
You can have this one for free, mate. Don't worry about it. There you go. Right, let's get it in.
All the delays have made a nervous Kyle even more jittery.
Just relax. It's always the same. The thought of actually doing something is always worse than actually doing it. You know what I mean?
Joe's calm attitude seems to have done the trick, but there's another hitch. They've lost the wind and Kyle is now on the verge of pulling out.
I thought he'd get it over with quick and that was it, but it's all this waiting, isn't it? I feel all tensed up for him myself. I know he is, I can tell by his face.
To add to Joe's troubles, the delays and the midday sun are sapping the patience of his French customers too.
Are you okay here? You have everything? Yeah? Okay, is the sun too much?
Too much.
It's too much, you need some shade. A lot of people sit in the bushes for shade, if you want to sit out of the sun. Just over there.
Joe's relaxed, having faced weather issues all season, but his customers are clearly on edge.
It used to bother me a lot because you see people waiting around like that and they're like, I just want to fly. But when you get them in the air and they land, everything's forgotten about. So you've got to take them being a little bit, with a pinch of salt.
But for all his calmness, unless things change quickly, Joe could lose his clients and end up almost €200 out of pocket. The southwest of France is without a doubt a food lover's paradise. Warm climates and rich soils create world-class produce like the cantaloupe melon and the famous black truffle.
Wow.
The area is also known for its cheeses like Rocamadour, produced since the 15th century in the stunning mountainside village of the same name. It's here that Brits Sam and Andrew Ledwith are savouring all that France has to offer.
No greasy burgers, no sausages, local produce. So got the famous Rocamadour goat's cheese. So try that one out.
There's not many places in the world that can beat this for me. Pork's lovely.
Fantastic food, lots of local foods to try, which are, delicious. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful part of the world.
Sam and Andrew opened their new business 2 months ago after completing renovations started by Sam's late father. They've created a stunning home for themselves, which includes luxury bathrooms, a large farmhouse kitchen, and overlooks 12.5 acres of their own land. They've also renovated a 3-bed, 2-bathroom guest suite. The whole plot could be valued at around €350,000, a third of what it would be in the UK.
This is normally Andrew's job, but as he's gone to the airport, I'll take over.
But to make ends meet, they need to diversify to attract guests all year round. So today they're launching their new deluxe all-inclusive running and cycling packages.
The package includes breakfast, evening meals, planned routes. So Andrew's gone out and put some routes together. We've got maps and everything to give the guests to show them the different routes, the terrain, the elevation.
Their first package guests are members of Andrew's old running club. They booked for 3 days after spotting an ad on social media.
Hey! Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Yeah, good, you? French, very French. Bonjour. Bonjour.
As the maiden guests, Bev and Helen are paying a special rate of €300.
Hi! Yeah, good, thanks. You look really well.
Oh, thank you.
This includes dinner, bed and breakfast, and some guided runs.
I already don't want to go home.
Here's the pool.
I think there's quite a lot of running to be had in the area, straight from your front door, so it looks like we're in for a treat with some of the scenery we've already seen.
Tonight, Sam and Andrew are cooking their first ever evening meal for guests.
Tables all laid. I've printed off a menu so everyone knows what they're getting this evening. We've just got to cook the main course. The starters are rabbit terrine, so that's all ready. We just need to present it.
But they've not got off to the best start. Sous Chef Andrew's already letting the side down.
I forgot to go to the baker's this morning and pick up the bread.
We're improvising with wholemeal bread, which we're going to toast. You need a bit of bread with a terrine. You won't make that mistake again, will we?
Hopefully not.
And these two novices are also running behind schedule.
It's now 20 to 7. I don't think we're going to eat till about 8. It's all a learning curve.
Finally, 45 minutes later than intended, dinner is served.
Come in. Evening.
Welcome to our restaurant.
Something smells wonderful.
It does smell amazing.
Right, so this is the rabbit terrine. It's a bit of regional produce for you to try. Right, well, cheers everyone. Welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
But there's still something missing.
Forgot to serve the toast, didn't we, with our starter. Never mind, I can have that for my breakfast now.
I've never had rabbit before, but it was really lovely.
Really good.
Though these guests seem okay, those paying a full rate may not be as forgiving.
They're really hot.
Can Sam rescue it with the main of local pork and dauphinoise potatoes?
Plate's hot, yeah, so be careful.
So this is the first
You
time
guinea
you've
pig.
cooked for guests?
Yeah.
That's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of practice.
You're
You've done a brilliant job. You've been lovely. Really lovely.
Hang on a
I
minute.
hope you enjoy it.
Eating it all and testing
Cut all
it
the
out.
potatoes.
Well done.
Even though they've cheated with a shop-bought dessert,
Famous walnut tart.
Sam and Andrew's culinary debut has been a success.
It was fantastic.
No, for me personally, that was just right.
Result. Happy with that.
But with a full 2 days of exercise ahead, will these athletes be impressed with the running routes? The southwest of France, one of the most important wine regions in the world, producing some 270 million bottles of wine a year. And they're all lovingly grown and harvested on beautiful vineyards, creating truly spectacular landscapes for visitors and locals alike.
And you look out over the countryside over here, it's so beautiful.
Steve McMahon and Rob Brimfield moved to France last year to follow their dream of a life in the sun by running a 20-acre vineyard
God, I'm so macho.
near Saint-Emilion.
Wake up, smile, look out and say, that's mine. Well, half of it, because the other half's his.
As well as the wine business, Steve and Rob are renovating their own dream home.
I presume this is my job to pick up.
You don't take it away, it goes through the window.
While renovations continue, Rob and Steve are still living in the run-down farmhouse next door, and it's beginning to take its toll.
This is our self-storage room. So everything in here is stuff that we've either purchased here for the renovations or it's stuff from England that's waiting to find a home.
I should be living in here really, because I'm waiting to find a home.
Their new home is slowly coming together, but Rob and Steve are still a couple of weeks off moving in.
As the house gets empty of everyone, you can actually see little bits that might need just touching up and tweaking, and we can do those before we truly move in this time.
We could do things like putting up curtain rails and stuff like that, but there's so much dust in the air when people are working. It seems pointless.
Hey, we've been in here 7 months, another couple of weeks isn't going to hurt, is it?
Oh, I can't stand it any longer.
These renovations are costly, and though Rob and Steve have had some success promoting their wine locally, a big deal from a wine merchant would be the icing on the cake. And now they have a huge opportunity, one which will allow them to promote their wine on an international scale. The Bordeaux Wine Festival is one of the biggest wine fairs in the world. There are over 2 kilometres of stands with over 500,000 visitors, including wine merchants.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It's nice, yeah.
Rob and Steve are hoping today will reap rich rewards.
Take 2. Take 6, actually.
I'm going to take 4 for now. Let's hope it's well received and a little bit of publicity to get a few people to pop and visit us down at the actual vineyard and maybe buy a few cases over the coming weeks.
Rob and Steve have a 4-hour slot to promote their wine at one of the stands, so there's no time to waste.
It's the only reason we're here, really.
But this is proving challenging.
Rob, I can't open this. Ah, this is not good. Rob, this isn't working.
What's wrong, Steve?
That's it.
Problem solved. Now they can get on with pushing their brand, hopefully to a visiting merchant.
Love your share. This is
wine.
Yes.
It's your wine.
This is fruity.
Yeah.
Good de fruits. Somewhat.
That's the whole idea of coming, really, is to be a little bit kind of pushy. You know, you want people to see it and try it and give it a go.
This is mon vin. Even though it's my wine, I'd recommend it for you.
Okay, so I will try.
Very good.
There's plenty of takers, but how has Rob and Steve's vintage gone down with this knowledgeable crowd?
Full-bodied, I'd say, but I mean, I'm not an expert, but very full-bodied and nice, yeah.
This is us, Clavier Rocher.
I genuinely think it's the best red wine that I've tasted here today.
Enjoy your day. Thank you.
These sort of events are really hard to actually calculate the real benefit. And the benefit can come in, you know, next week, next month, next year. Let's just hope it's kind of popped into enough people's minds and it's going to sit there for a later date.
And then, a few weeks later, comes the call Rob and Steve had been hoping for.
We've been having a little chat with a fairly well-known wine merchant in the UK. And they've said, please send us some samples. So they're obviously interested in trying both of our vintages, and with the hopes that they'll want to put it on their shelves.
Interest from a UK outlet in just a few months is huge progress for Rob and Steve. One deal can be the difference between fortune and failure. Their dream of making a success of their new business in the sun is getting closer every day. The Charente in southwest France has many benefits, including a great climate with average summer temperatures at least 5 degrees warmer than the UK. But what draws many expats to the region is the amount of land you can purchase for a fraction of what it costs in the UK. In the southwest of France, the average price per acre is £3,500. In England, it's £10,000.
3-bedroom property on the edge of the Dordogne, overlooking the Charente, nice and private. It's currently on the market at €295,000.
Brits love gardening. The French don't like gardening so much, but the Brits do. So this has got a really nice plot of land with a manageable garden, and it's on the market for €350,000.
Come on then, where are we going? Should we go this way and see the animals?
I'll just push an empty buggy around again.
OK, you want to go that way first? Come on then.
One family cashing in on this competitive property market are Dan and Jodie Bartholomew Oates and their 2 children, Bella and Beau.
Where in England could you afford to buy 35 acres with 12 acres of lake? It'd be physically impossible. To be honest, what bloke wouldn't want to just drive his own tractor for a living as well? You know, 35 acres of field to...
He loves it. Oh, we've got stuck in the mud. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Tractor man.
It's brilliant.
Dan and Jodie paid £500,000 for an established carp fishing business and a beautiful home. It came with 2 lakes, a selection of outbuildings, and 100 times more land than they had back in Southampton. A similar business in the UK would have set them back well over £1.5 million. In England, Dan was a helicopter engineer and Jodie owned a care home, so why carp fishing?
You'd never been fishing, had you?
I've been fishing once,
once.
On the River Derwent with my brother-in-law for about half an hour. I got incredibly bored of it. So yeah, it seemed like the ideal business, really.
But the couple thought this would be a great commercial opportunity. Angling is massive in France, bringing in thousands of tourists a year.
It's stunning, it's a lovely little fishery.
Last year, Dan and Jodie opened a holiday lodge and welcomed a good number of guests.
It's an unbelievable place, it really is.
But this is a niche market. Dan and Jodie have not been making enough money to make the business viable, so need to broaden their appeal.
Why does fishing have to be grotty and cold and uncomfortable? Why can't you have a lovely days or nights fishing and then come and sleep in a nice bed and cook a proper meal? And I know some fishermen are, that's wussy and that's not how you fish, but
We still encourage them as well, don't we?
So they've built a new luxury lodge near the second lake in the hope that the fishermen will now bring along their families. But to fund it, they've had to borrow €50,000 from the Bank of Mum.
It's really, really squeezed us for every penny, and it's really going to put us in a predicament if we can't now earn that back. So the pressure's on. The lake's open, that's it, it's no excuses now. Get the bookings in, get the people coming, and not just get them coming back.
To get those bookings, Dan and Jodie need publicity. So in 2 hours, an angling journalist has booked in to review the new lodge and lake. And he's bringing his wife along to see if it suits a family market.
So he's going to come, write a review and give us his honest opinions.
But time is short.
This is pretty manky.
Hopefully it'll fire up in a minute. It's a bit temperamental. I'll have to try some mowing at this rate. Yeah, let's try some mowing, because that is clearly not going to work.
No amount of planning gets you anywhere sometimes. OK, makes me laugh. Mum was saying earlier, I'll bring over an iron and iron it in situ. I don't think we're at that stage now.
And typically it's when you're in a rush that things go wrong.
Oh, it's blocked up. There is a bit of a rush, yeah. You know, when the mower doesn't work as it should do, it's quite annoying.
Eventually, engineer Dan wins his fight against the overgrown lawn and can help his wife.
We've still got to clean the lodge. We've still got to, you know, I've still got a couple of decking boards to nail together, and still quite a bit to do.
It'll be OK,
Yeah,
surely. What can possibly go wrong?
Well, how about your special guests arriving early?
Oh, he's here.
Oh, Ken's here.
Oh, great.
How bum is it to be nice for them? Right, let me just do a quick. This is the kind of cleaning that I tell Dan never to do. Shortcut cleaning, shoving stuff in drawers, and what am I doing? I'm doing it. I tell you what, Bella, would you put your wellies on and go and say a big hello to Ken and Carol for me? Give them one of your really chatterbox chats.
There's nothing more Dan and Jodie can do. It's time to find out if their brand new lodge and lake will impress their guests. At Rob and Steve's Vineyard, their PR push has resulted in a possible new deal for their wine with a UK merchant. But they can't rest on their laurels. Today they're turning their attention to another side of the business, wine tours.
We've got a couple of people due here shortly, so it would have been nice to have had a slightly cleaner, tidier impression to give them. Hopefully our personality will prevail and they won't see the mess, and, you know, they'll see it for what it is. Hello there.
Hi.
Hello. All right. Good to see you.
Carl and Kristen from Wales are on a 2-week wine tour of France, and they've already visited 14 vineyards.
Lovely to see you both. Well, welcome to Clos du Rocher. Do you want to have a look around the vines first?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Predominantly Merlot through the top and down through here, and then we've got a lot of Cabernet Franc in here.
Did you know much about wine before you bought it, though?
Other than drinking lots of it, no, we've been a very fast learning curve.
It's shocked to the system.
Slightly, because it wasn't exactly what we intended to do, was it, really? We came for a quiet life.
Really?
Yeah, and turned round and bought a vineyard.
So you aged it and bottled it and everything here yourself?
Yeah. I'll show you the cellar and what happens.
Despite being novices, Rob and Steve are doing a good job.
So,
next, into the cellars.
Some of the yeast that's growing on the walls here, my natural instinct is to scrub it all off, but we were told don't touch it because it all adds to the unique flavour that you'll have in your finished product.
And finally a chance to make some cash.
The reserve has been in for 18 months.
You should find
Yeah,
some nice
I can
fruity.
smell the fruit there, yeah. Got a lovely nose. Nice, nice
really
fruity
has.
malt.
Do you drink rosés as well, or are you red drinkers?
As a general rule at home, we wouldn't have a bottle of rosé.
Despite their customers' reluctance,
Don't you have to try that one?
Why not?
Rob and Steve are keen to sell the Vineyard's rosé.
Enjoy.
Oh, it smells lovely. It smells lovely and fresh.
Well, there you go, from a non-white rosé wine drinker, that's fab. You could be very proud of that.
It's really good.
With Carl and Kristen converted to rosé, they decide to buy 2 bottles and 2 red with a promise to order more soon.
Oh well, got to keep in touch. And we
Absolutely. That's not
Really impressed.
Yeah,
It's a hell of a task to take on, I think, and clearly the love and it comes through from the two of them and what they're doing, and that'll translate into successful business.
See you. Bye bye. Spending the time with people is important, isn't it?
They've gone away, and I think they'll talk about us not only to themselves but maybe to other people as well.
You know, it's great publicity. All in all, a good morning, and I think it's time for lunch.
It's a week later and another milestone for Rob and Steve.
Don't drop it.
Because their dream home is finally finished.
These are the moments when you've moved house, feel more like home, when you start to put your personal possessions in place.
After living in the damp old farmhouse for months,
Oh, it just softens it off, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
Rob and Steve can finally begin the finishing touches to their home.
Hopefully it'll reach the plug socket. Aha. We couldn't decide on the light
For the light
fitting,
fitting, yeah.
so this is a temporary measure also. It's okay. It'll do for now.
Oh, yes. That's it now.
Yes.
When they bought this property, which dates back to the 16th century, it was neglected and unloved. It has been totally transformed into a stylish 2-bed, 2-bathroom home. The fixtures and fittings add a touch of luxury. And despite big delays and problems, Steve has his new modern kitchen. With all the finishing touches now complete, the pair finally have their dream home to match their new dream business.
We bought a dump, didn't we?
We did. I think we saw something that others didn't, and now we've cleared it, we've got the benefit of it. Amazing. Yeah.
It's beautiful, and we do have to keep telling ourselves we're very lucky to be enjoying this each and every day, aren't we?
Yeah, it is really. We're spoiled. We are spoiled.
Everything seems to be coming together for Rob and Steve. But their biggest challenge is yet to come because harvest is fast approaching, and this could make or break their new life in the sun. In the valleys of the Midi-Pyrénées, Sam and Andrew Ledwith are hosting their first ever package holiday for runners.
Just be really careful you don't trip up, Andrew.
Let's not joke about that, really.
Please be careful.
So far, Bev and Helen's stay has been crammed full of good food, wine, and of course, running.
We were kind of eased into it on the first day with a kind of nice short 5-miler. Today, I think, we've got another big hill, which I was slightly nervous about, but we've got a nice run into it, so we should be fairly warmed up by the time we get to it. So it's, yeah, it should be good.
And it seems Andrew has saved the toughest route till last.
They're a bit nervous about the hill,
Bit nervous
aren't
about
they?
the hill.
You've shown them the elevation.
Yeah, I showed them the map. It just sort of goes, boing. But I'm sure they'll enjoy it because you've got a cracking view of the vines in the valley, so it's worth it once you get up there.
The run might sound grueling, but the start point is simply breathtaking.
So we're going to hug the river for a little bit, for say a mile, and then we're going to cut through the vineyards. Later on we'll see the hill that we've got to go up.
I don't think we want to see it before we get there.
I probably won't need to point it out, you'll see that.
All right.
All right. And go.
Hello.
The Lot is one of the longest rivers in France, 481 kilometres, and is a stunning backdrop to the first part of their route. As they leave its banks, the runners head past acres of vineyards.
You can see this one already changing colour to a gold, like a lovely red. It's stunning when it's full.
Finally, it's time for the hill.
It's only one hill, come on.
With a welcome party at the finish line.
Well, they look happy, so that's the result.
And the ladies appear to have taken it all in their stride.
Well done!
Yes!
High five! Well done, mate. How was that?
I'm really pleased with it, actually. I was expecting it to be far, far worse. But actually,
It was hard,
It was hard, don't get me
hard.
wrong.
How was the hill? Harder than it?
Yeah. Almost vertical at one point, wasn't it?
I'm running through the vines. I can't believe how lucky I am that I've done it.
Oh,
I'm really lucky.
After running for over 7 miles in 25-degree heat, there's only one thing for it. Before Bev and Helen are ready to give that all-important feedback.
Thanks for having me.
Really enjoyed it. That was lovely.
On the route side of the runs, they're going to be self-guided, aren't they? So, do you think producing like a little map, laminated map?
I personally have enjoyed having a guide.
And your enthusiasm and passion for it, it just, it flows out of you anyway,
Yeah.
so that's really infectious.
You might have to consider going out with them then, maybe, or on request.
Yeah.
Good feedback so far, but what? I want to hear some bad stuff.
Bad stuff. There hasn't been any bad stuff. It has
Come on, there must have been something.
We've really enjoyed it.
I just feel really privileged to have
part of your journey.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Thank you. Lots to take on, lots to think about.
They did put some valid points to us, which we are going to take on board and run with, aren't we?
Yeah, it's been really successful and really interesting, and now, like you say, we can run with it and start building the package up to what we want it to be.
It seems Sam and Andrew might have come up with a business plan that could secure their new life in the sun.
I think we've done really well, haven't we? I'm massively proud of Sam.
I'm very proud of you. All these skills that you've shown that you didn't know you had, I didn't know you had them.
I didn't.
For the past 3 months, the Ledwiths have been on an incredible journey. After completing difficult renovations, they have a beautiful home, have hosted lots of satisfied holidaymakers.
We're loving it, and having them here is great.
And they now believe they have found a lucrative niche in the holiday market.
If this trail running package works, maybe
When?
offering, maybe offering massage or yoga classes. We also thought about setting up a race in Puy-de-Vec in memory of my dad, which would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
But what would Sam's dad have thought of the couple turning his dream into a potentially viable business?
I think he would be extremely proud of the fact that his legacy is continuing. We've taken on what he left behind and kind of ran with it, really, so to speak.
I think he'll probably think we're crazy giving up our lives back in the UK and the security that we had in the UK.
But my dad was such a free spirit. I think life is about experiences, and that's really important.
Dan and his wife Jodie are running a carp fishery in rural France. They've just opened a second lodge and lake, and this week angling journalist Ken Townley and his wife Carol are checking in.
Is it all right for shoes?
Yes, you're fine.
Dan and Jodie need a good review from Ken to really help them break the family market.
Blimey, you've done a hell of a job on this, haven't you?
Do you think?
Yeah.
It's amazing how much they fitted in to such a compact
Small space.
place.
Yeah.
Nice big fridge. They know how to do things for people's comfort.
Ken's more interested in carp, not kitchens, so it's off to the lake.
Here we are. Very nice indeed, isn't it?
But it's not long before he spots some potential problems.
You know, somebody comes here and fishes in the winter, and this is clay, and clay gets very slippery.
Yeah,
as
I
you
know what you mean, yeah.
I can just see somebody, especially if they've had a couple of 1664s, going...
And there's another issue that could spell more work for Dan.
Ken has said the one thing that's missing is to have a place to put his wet stuff. So for this week, I've said he can use the boiler room.
So that means Dan will have to lay concrete and build a shed on top of it, and he wants it finished before Ken leaves in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, are we going to be able to do it that quickly?
Yeah, it's fine.
In what? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be all right.
So
as
what
long
you're
as it
saying
doesn't pour
is,
down.
it's been about 34 minutes since our last challenge passed. Let's start a new one.
Why not?
I felt great there for about 5 minutes.
Over the next few days, late spring brings heavy showers and Dan's shed building is on hold. Instead of mixing concrete, he's mixing cake.
We basically can't get on with it because of the rain. So we can't can't do anything, can we? There's just nothing we can do.
And to make matters worse, even when the sun is shining, this angling journalist isn't catching any big fish on the new lake.
I get the feeling that Ken wants to write us a good review, but if he's not catching the fish, then, you know, there's only so much he can write about.
With 2 weeks to go, Dan and Jodie can only hope Ken finally lands some fish. On the Spanish mountains near Santa Pola, paraglider Joe Reed is facing a spot of bother. He's waiting for the wind to pick up to fly, meaning his 2 customers are sweltering in the midday heat and on the verge of pulling out.
The wind's due to pick up, so it's just waiting for it to come in. There's no point taking off and it being weak and then having to land down the bottom. So if you're going to do it right.
Teenager Kyle, who is here with his granddad Dennis, is already nervous.
Get it over with.
The delays are making things worse.
I can sense it. You are quite nervous, aren't you? Yeah.
But as the wind picks up, Joe's pilot decides to go for it.
Run, keep running, keep running, keep running.
Unfortunately, though, he struggles to get much height.
He's quite low. I don't think the wind's strong enough.
And instead of soaring skywards, Kyle heads straight back down to earth.
Yeah, he's definitely going into land. I'll have to go and pick him up. I'll be about 10 minutes.
Joe races off to collect Kyle and his pilot. But stress can do strange things to people. Joe has somehow forgotten Kyle's name.
Do you want to sit in the back, Lee? Do you want to go again, mate? How was it?
It was actually really, really good.
Joe isn't going to give up and gets ready for another attempt. He still thinks Kyle's called Lee, though.
Lee, you okay, mate?
Somebody's really going to have to say something.
So it was a short flight just then, but you can kind of get the gist of things of what you're supposed to do. So just remember...
Anyway, it's called Kyle.
Pardon?
I'm called Kyle.
You've called... Oh, you called Kyle? I've been calling you Lee.
Yeah.
I've been calling him Lee all day. Kyle. Sorry, who's Lee then?
Now that's cleared up, well, sort of, Kyle's ready for his second flight. This time, Joe gets his name right.
Well done, Kyle. Woo! Well done, mate.
And the wind gives them lift off.
Yes. That's good. He kept running.
It's a perfect flight.
Enjoying it properly now.
Followed 20 minutes later by a perfect landing.
Glad you done it?
Yeah, and it was insane as well.
It was insane. Good, mate.
All round an unforgettable experience for Kyle.
Every time when I come to bed at home, I'm going to always do it.
And his granddad.
I'm really pleased for him. He really did well. I didn't think he'd do it, but he did. And I'm dead proud of him. I really am.
With one anxious customer down, there's a new challenge. All Joe has to do is give French tourist Sebastian his safety briefing. Simple, or maybe not.
How was your English, okay? Okay, cool, no problem.
But Joe's in luck. Sebastian's wife Stephanie is on hand.
Can you tell him the most important thing to do is when he's running, he runs.
Yes,
he runs. Very important. Yeah, that's
Run.
Yeah.
Remembering his coochie coochie coochie.
Run.
And with the weather now perfect, Sebastian's takeoff is a breeze.
Woo!
While Joe engages in a bit of customer relations, despite his lack of French.
Yeah, Papa. Papa. Oi. Look, Papa's there. Wow, what a nice birthday present. Very good, very good. Congratulations, my man. Perfect. Well done. Awesome. You enjoy? Good? Yes?
Super.
Good. Fantastic day. We got them both flying in the air. They're both happy. The lad was nervous, so he overcome his own fear, which is brilliant. He loved it, and he'd definitely do it again. So yeah, I'm happy.
Over the next few weeks, Joe's business goes from strength to strength.
How are you feeling? You okay now? Or you're excited?
From husbands and wives from Bulgaria.
Run. Woo!
To holiday-making Brits.
Glad to have your feet back on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah? And would you do it again?
Yep.
Cool, good.
Joe proves nothing will stand in his way.
Woo!
And Joe's now so confident he's taking a big step forward for the future.
¿Cómo se dice en español?
Cajones.
Cajones.
This year, Joe's had to hire a glider and a pilot, which takes a cut of his profits.
You always see the lines, the airlines up, okay?
But he's now invested in his own glider, which will mean he'll be able to pocket the full fee.
Release, come on.
Today is his first practice session with pilot Xavi.
Great, man. Stop. Be careful with the... Yeah. Woo! Perfect.
I'm happy with that, man.
He's a good student.
Joe will have to pass a course before he can take customers out, but he's delighted with how much of his army training he's remembered.
I think I'm making quite good progress. It's good because I might not have to fork out for a course, and it means that I can start taking people flying by myself sooner. I mean, still, I'm looking at 2 years, but it's definitely a good step forward.
Despite a really tricky start, Joe has managed to make a success of his business.
Release, run. Okay.
For it to be my first year, I'm happy with the amount of people that I flew. So I'm doing something right.
As the season draws to a close, Joe's confident that this is definitely a business with a future.
If you can tick something off your bucket list and do it in Spain as well, where the sun shines so beautifully, then why would you say no?
Next time, with their own house complete.
You had said a few years ago, would you have a view like this? I wouldn't have thought so, to be honest.
Rob and Steve tackle their holiday sheets.
It's a lovely property hidden by decades of neglect.
Chaos at the fishing lodge.
The quagmire of France.
Plus a celebrity guest.
Our new people are due at lunchtime today. And when is Chris Tarrant popping by? Lunchtime today.
And there's a last-minute dash.
Spanish brickwork isn't the best.
For Benidorm's latest bar.
We need to get the doors open. The season's already started, so we're just missing out, and we need to start getting money in.